if you had more than 60 demerits at the end of your second class period, you were automatically washed out. But I had 93 demerits. So I had to meet what was called a Flight X board. And I went before the board, and the colonel asked me, he says, I don't understand. What is going on here? He said, you're near the top of your class academically, and you're at the bottom militarily. What's going on? And I said, sir, racial discrimination. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, sir, I said, would you call it racial discrimination if the men would go up to the PX and get bombed and out of their minds and come back and get me out of bed at 12 o'clock and send me out on the fire escape and order me to recite George Washington's farewell address until they returned, and then they would go to bed? With that, he said, get Lieutenant McLaurin over here now. And because these guys would do they were insanely racist. I mean, it's just that simple. Just that simple.
And was there quote unquote justice meted out when? Oh
yes. When he asked for Lieutenant McLaurin, he meant to deal with him in a way that corrected the situation. Oh, I was restored. I was restored back to my flight and graduated on time. And one of the things that had angered them was that there were 3 persons of my race in my flight. Out of 35, there were 3, and that had never happened before. And one of them, Avon C. James, retired as a brigadier general at the Pentagon. But
you were ready to move on when your time was.
Oh, indeed, I was. And in fact, I had gone in the Air Force. Well, back up just a minute. I had been drafted while I was in college, and I went to Dr. Davis, the president of the college, and told him, Dr. Davis, Walter S. Davis, I'm being drafted, and I just wanted to tell you goodbye. And he said, no, you can't leave here. You're editor of the paper, you're a member of the student council, you're a collegiate counselor. You can't leave here. And I said, sir, but I'm being drafted. And he picked up the phone right at that instance and called Governor Gordon Browning and got him on the phone. And Governor Browning says, what's his draft board number? And he says, I told him 77. And he says, don't worry, I'll take care of it. And he did. Oh. So I was drafted while I was in school, but I was allowed to complete it. And I told a friend of mine, John Jenkins, that I would be back before he was, and he was going into the Army. and the Air Force was 4 years, and the Army was 2 years. And sure enough, he came back, and I was sitting on my swing because the war ended and we were able to get out.